Hi, I'm Annie Fitzsimmons. I'm your Washington REALTORS Legal Hotline Lawyer, and this is another episode in our series entitled A Fresh Look at Fair Housing. I'm joined again by my friends. Deborah, would you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Deborah Blom, and I'm a realtor in Clark County.
And Adria.
I'm Adria Buchanan, Executive Director of the Fair Housing Center of Washington.
And we are talking in this episode about bias in appraisals. And I think that it's important to start this conversation. From my perspective, there are a lot of questions around this conversation, not necessarily a ton of answers. But I do think that it's an important topic to at least raise to the level of attention of real estate brokers so that you can be aware of this issue. And if you believe that you ever are part of a transaction or have a relationship with a property owner who believes that they are the victim of unlawful bias in an appraisal, you can give them some good tools and tips. Adria, have you seen anything like this?
We have seen it a few times here in Washington, but definitely throughout the country it happens. And so, there was a case in Washington just recently where, there was a Black family, put their house on the market, got it appraised, and that appraisal came back much lower than they anticipated. Especially given the boom in housing prices the last couple of years, there was definitely stark contrast in what it was appraised at and what they thought really the value should have been. And so they took it upon themselves before they complained about it. They took it upon themselves to have one of their friends who was white pose as the owner. And so they had them pose as the owner, and then they removed really all symbols of themselves all representation of themselves within that home. So, pictures, I don't know if they had pictures there beforehand, but they certainly removed anything that would indicate what their cultural background was.
Okay.
And so after, in the industry, it has been called whitewashing. So after they whitewashed their home, they had a new owner come in and pose as the owner, and the new appraisal was right in line with what they thought the value should be.
Substantially higher.
Substantially higher, correct. And so they ended up going through the private litigation process and, ended up coming out with having that ruled in their favor, right? And so definitely it has happened here in Washington. We've seen it happen in other places. And so it's definitely something that people want to be mindful of and agents want to be aware of as they're trying to navigate the market with their clients.
Yeah. And so there are a variety of tools available to property owners and to brokers. And brokers, you really just need to know that if the facts seem suspicious, if it just seems like there must be something below this low appraisal or underlying this low appraisal that you think requires additional investigation, you have a variety of resources. Your seller can demand a reappraisal or a new appraisal if they are able to assert discrimination, unlawful discrimination. So there's the resource of the lender themselves, the AMC, the appraisal management company. The Department of Licensing at the state level regulates appraisers and appraisal management companies. And there are federal tools available as well for sellers who believe that they have been impacted by a biased appraisal to make a complaint and take advantage of resources available to them for this very specific issue. If you have questions on this topic or any other, please visit WARealtor.org and ask a question at the Legal Hotline. Thank you for being a Washington REALTORS member.